Morning, everybody. Everybody getting it on your radio? Can you hear it? All right, good deal. Good deal. 88.5. Appreciate you being here. Let's pray together, and then we're going to get started with some singing. Appreciate your efforts to be out today. Thank you so much for that. Let's pray. Father, we thank you today for your goodness. Thank you for your grace, your mercy, your love for us. We pray that today that everything that we do will bring honor and glory to the name of Jesus. We thank you for these who come, and I pray that today will be encouraged. Lord, for those that are watching, God, I pray that everything that we do, touch hearts and lives, and help us to see you, or see you work around us. Help us to reach out to those that blessing our time together. May you be honored. Bless those that can't be with us today. All with health issues and other reasons. Bless you. Minister to them. Meet every need. And bless and thank you. In Jesus' name. Turn in your hymn book to 293. My life has been wrong. If Jesus came into my heart, I am gone. If Jesus came into my heart, Lord, on my soul, like the season was lost. Jesus came into my heart. Days and morning as rain, with Jesus came into my heart. I just see the Lord. Jesus came into my heart. When that seed I know, it's because He came into my heart. So happy as when I go, it's because He came into my heart. All right. Reading today from Romans chapter 10, verse 9, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and believe in thy heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Verse 13, for whosoever shall call upon the Lord shall be saved. Glad you're here. Give you some announcements this morning. A couple of things. Remember, next Sunday we'll do the same thing, drive-in service at 9 o'clock. 2 weeks from today, the day you've been waiting for all your life this month, we will be gathering back in the sanctuary June 7th, 11 o'clock worship service only. So remember that, June 7th at 11 o'clock back in the sanctuary. Now we will have guidelines. We will hand some of those out next Sunday. There'll be some things that will be different than before. And I think you know that and probably expect that. But remember that 2 weeks from today, we will meet back in the sanctuary. And also that day, we will be honoring our seniors. So remember that on that day. Also, Bible study at 6:30 on Wednesday night. So keep that in mind as well. Also, if you brought your offering today, we will have the bucket out when you leave. You can drop it in there, or you can continue to mail it in or drop it off here. So, again, thank you for being here. It is great to see you. And appreciate you being here. Let's worship the Lord together.
God before. Praise the Lord, let the Lord give his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, the Son, and give him the glory. Great things he has done. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, God, the Father, and Jesus, the Son, and give him the glory. Great things he has done. Great things have done, and praise our rejoicing through Jesus the Son. And high and great will be the wonder I can when Jesus. Praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, the Son, and give him the glory. Great things he has
I'm going to sing a song today. We're actually going to do it a cappella. Song I want us to learn, get back into our regathering church, learn at the congregation. I mentioned it in a message several weeks back now. The song really talks about how much God loves us. I want you to listen how deep the Father's love. How deep the Father's love for us. How vast beyond all measure that He should give His only Son. He made a wretched treasure. How great the pain of fearing lost. The Father turned His face away, and moved toward the chosen one, bringing His Son to glory. Behold the man upon a cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice, all out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held Him there, until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me by. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything. No power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart. If you have made my ransom, why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart. If you have paid my ransom. Think about how much God loves us. It's always amazing to realize how little we deserve it. Sometimes we encounter things in our life that somehow just hits us just right. I had one of those this week. For a family that torn all to pieces, and I guess the thing that hit me hard was the fact that there are children who grow up in those kinds of environments, and we look at them a lot of times and say, this person don't have a chance, these kids don't have a chance. often we look at it in that respect and we think, how do we make a difference? How do we reach them? I want us to think about that word today in the context of John chapter 4, thinking about them. How many times have we made the statement of, well, it's them, or it's those kind of people. It's that group. Somehow we don't want to associate ourselves with them. John chapter 4, Jesus gives us a story, or John gives us a story of Jesus who was willing to encounter people. Matter of fact, he is leaving Judea. He's going to Galilee, and he's going simply because there was some disgruntlement between John the Baptist's disciples and Jesus' disciples. I mentioned this kind of last week, and the fact that Jesus was getting more disciples than John the Baptist, and John didn't have a problem with that because he always pointed to Jesus. This is a story about reaching them. And in that story, there's a statement that a lot of times we read, and I think I've heard it used out of context so many times. But as they were going to Galilee, there were three routes that they could take. They could go down by the coast, and they could probably have a good scenic beach view as they traveled. They could also go through Perea, which was on the other side of Jordan. But actually, the most direct and the shortest and quickest route was through Samaria. And Jesus makes the statement, I must needs go through Samaria. Well, probably one reason is he wanted to get to Galilee, and he may have wanted to get there quicker than normal. I think he had an appointment there. I think he knew what was going to happen. So Jesus and his disciples, they begin their journey. And when they come to a city of Sychar, which is part of Samaria, verse 5 says, it's near a parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph, and Jacob's well was there. When they get to this place, they get to the well. The disciples going into town to get something to eat. Jesus stays behind. And it says it's about the 6th hour. Well, on the Jewish calendar, that's about noon. So anything about that culture, it's hot. It's dry. They have probably traveled already close to 20 to 25 miles. Walk. And it says that Jesus sat down on the well, being wearied from his journey. He was thirsty. He was probably tired. But a beautiful picture of showing the humanity of Jesus. He felt a lot of the same things you and I do. As he sat on the well, verse 7 says, there cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus said unto her, give me to drink. The disciples had gone away into the city to buy meat. And this is an interesting thing that when he asked for a drink of water, she turns the subject to talk about them. Talk about that group. Notice what she says in verse 1. How is it, thou being a Jew, askest drink of me, who am a woman of Samaria? Now there's two issues here. Number one, This man, Jesus, should not be talking to a woman in that culture. Not in public. Number two, he is a Jew, she is a Samaritan. Now the reason that most of the Jews would take the route down by the coast or over through on the other side of Jordan is because they wanted nothing to do with the Samaritans. They wanted nothing again. Whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. When he makes that statement, the woman in verse 15 becomes a little more interested in his water, and she wants to know how she can get it. How can she have this water? So she begins asking those questions. And she said, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. She said, can you give me water for I don't have to come out here? By the way, it's new. This woman's come to the well. She is obviously one of them. She's an outcast. And she's an outcast because of what happens next. What happens next? Jesus asked her something that made her confront something that every one of us has to confront before we can have this living water. When she asked, or when she said, how can I have this water? Jesus knew she was going to have to make this decision before she could have it. In verse 16, he said unto her, go call thy husband and come hither. And she answered, I have no husband. And Jesus said to her, thou hast said well, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that, I said, the problem this woman had was she knew more men than women in Samaria. That was her sin. This woman had been married 5 times. More than likely, she had done much loose living. Possibly had even been a prostitute. But at this point, all indication gives us of what Jesus says is that she is now living with another man. This woman has to confront her sin before she can have this living water. Every one of us have to confront our sin before we can have this living water. When he says this, she turns the sun because of their need rather than their character. We should love them and meet those needs regardless of who they are, regardless of what side of the county they're on, regardless of who they are. We love them because of their need. But along with that, Jesus, well, let's make it this way. Life is not just about meeting physical needs, but more importantly, spiritual needs. Now, we meet physical needs. We did this at the store. We help out down at the food pantry. We do things. The truth is, Jesus met physical needs so he could meet spiritual needs. He fed 5,000 plus people, probably 12, 15,000 people or more. Why did he do that? So that they would sit comfortably and listen to the truth. When we begin to meet people's needs, they will listen to us. Jesus was all about that. Why did he mention water everlasting life. He used her need to meet the spiritual, his need to meet the spiritual. We're going to meet in 2 weeks, where we love to come and fellowship and worship with buildings. It's everlasting life. It's water. He must confront our sin. Whatever it is. It may not be an open sin. It may not be a visible sin. It may be a sin in your heart. It may be an attitude. Whatever it may be, we must confront that before we can have living water. And also, telling them is vital. Telling them about Jesus. Challenge to us today. First of all, if you don't know Jesus, but second, let's do whatever we can those whose lives can save them. And love shares the same way. Let's reach out. Father, we're grateful today for your word that reminds us. Sometimes it's not easy. Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria. Thank you for saving us.